Hello, hello, and welcome. This is Peter Palmiotti of Human Art Studio, and this is Making Comics and Art, episode 172. And so I'll mention a few things. My co-host is not able to make it today, but we should see her again on Monday. And yes, I'm saying Monday because I need to catch up on deadlines and disappear from the internet. Other than my Patreon posts, which I've been doing daily art, I'm going to be completely offline because I need to focus on too many things. Um, but yeah, so taking tomorrow off. I'll be back Monday, and hopefully Allison will be with us. But other than that, I want to say a big, big, big thank you to Dee Dee, who sent me a tip for ink and nibs. That is so, so awesome of you. Um, yeah, I have not only my Patreon, which I have people supporting me there, but I have a sort of tip jar link to my PayPal, which people can throw a couple bucks or 25 cents or whatever. Um, and I've known Dee Dee for years, and she has an amazing channel, and she's on Instagram, and she definitely go check her out. But she's so generous, so generous. So thank you, and hopefully, we'll get some people in here in the chat. It's always up in the air whether that happens live or not. But I hope that a lot of people see this before your campaign ends. I got D with me with his comic Kid Nebula, which is live on Kickstarter right now, and for another 4 hours. The countdown is definitely getting close to the end.
Yes, that's for sure.
And we were just chatting a little bit before the show, and yeah, this is your first campaign, and you're feeling your way around. It's a lot to take on. I know myself. Um, so yeah, tell us about your project. While you're doing that, I'll try to start sharing it on my end. So hopefully I won't drop out of the stream while that's happening. So yeah, feel free to tell us all about it.
All right, cool. Thanks first. Thanks for having me. This is awesome. Really appreciate it. Um, the so Kid Nebula. It's kind of it's a sci-fi action adventure comic with giant robots, aliens, kaiju, all that good stuff. It basically kind of came about from uh, all the things I used to love watching when I growing up as a kid, those Saturday morning cartoons and everything. So that's kind of where it all began, I guess. And I just decided to try to put it all together and make a comic out of it. All the things I love, and I had some bunch of ideas moving forward with it. So I kind of kind of whittled it down to this one where it's going to be probably a 3 issue story arc, and then it'll just go from there.
All right. So am I sharing? I think I am.
Yes.
And we see the Kickstarter page. Okay, good.
Yep. So
It's-
far, so
I
good,
need
right?
another monitor. Yeah, I need another monitor to tell what the hell I'm doing. But yeah, so you got 4 hours to go. 56 backers. Yeah, I saw earlier you had 54, so you got two more, which is awesome on your last
Yeah.
day. Always get more in there. You're at
Hmm.
$2,126. Um, and we'll just scroll down. People get a sense of the artwork and all that. Um,
Yeah.
so is this the cover then that we're seeing
So
over
that's the
here?
cover I did right there. Yep. That's So I
Okay,
have
cool.
two, and then there's some variant covers as well from um, some artists that definitely wanted to contribute, which was awesome. So
All right. So
there's
yeah.
two standard issues, which is going to be like kind of the 30-page story. And the second cover there is by Dwayne C. Red Hornet Studios on Instagram. And
Nice.
he's doing the kind of the villain, so it's kind of you see the good guys and the bad guys right there in the two covers.
Excellent.
And then the next
And
one's what we
deluxe.
call is the
Huh?
deluxe edition is kind of like the director's cut, where there's going to be the 30-page story, and then there's going to be extras. There's going to be some behind the scenes things of how I came about some of the designs of the characters, some backstory on the characters, and then also a kind of hint of what's to come. And so that'll be included there. Plus, since I received, I was so like blown away by the amount of fan art I received through this whole process that I'm also going to have a fan art gallery, and there is kind of a thank you to all the, to kind of showcase all the cool art that I received and the artists that sent that.
That's always awesome.
Yeah. And
And
so these are the two deluxe, and there's one other one that's kind of like the super deluxe because it's a kind of a wraparound cover. But it's going to be somewhere with
and
the deluxe. That one right there. That one was
right.
from Derek Fleece. Yeah, he blew it out of the. They all really blew it out of the park. I mean, they did such a great job.
Um, did you do the logo? I really like the logo. Like, not
Yes.
only
Yeah.
like 100%, it's an awesome name for a book, Kid Nebula.
Mhm.
That's an excellent name. But the
Okay.
logo is very cool too.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I took some time messing around with logos, and I kind of had this idea and just kind of went with it. I tweaked it a little bit, but it's pretty much kind of what I initially kind of scribbled on paper. So luckily it worked out. I was like, oh, I think this would be cool. I wanted to keep it kind of that you'll see it right away, and it's also kind of simple, not too busy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I've seen a lot of logos, and when it gets busy, it gets confusing and hard to read. And but like this is, straight up excellent. So
Awesome. Oh yeah, and then here there is a add-on, or if you just wanted to get these, you could just do that. There's a for trading cards. So right now, these are kind of the most of them are set in stone, but there are a couple that I'm still trying to see. But I just want to give an example of what you get. You get 4 trading cards, and with Kid Nebula, of course, couldn't leave him out, and then 3 of the other team members from the Borealis Brigade. And then on the back, you'll have a kind of a uh, kind of like the old school cards, just like a little write up of the character.
right, right. Then you got why back this
Th-
project.
Then just some
Uh,
sample pages,
yep.
just
Some
give you an idea of the art. These are all in like different stages, but this is kind of a good vibe of the art. It's kind of like I said, I was really influenced by the Saturday morning cartoons, and that kind of, so I wanted to capture that vibe.
yeah. It definitely looks like it's straight out of something I watched as a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
See, and then and just at the bottom that so there's we have some different stretch goals that we hit already. So we hit the first 3 stretch goals. So we're getting like each physical backer will get these 3 prints by different awesome artists, and then also we're getting including also these 5 stickers, and that was by
Nice.
Scooter Sketches, yeah, from on Instagram, and then the next one is one that everyone was asking me to add in there was well, this first is this actually we hit that. So when we hit 50 backers, we're gonna do today at the later on today at the closeout show, we're gonna do the raffle for give away this shirt with
Excellent.
red on there. Yeah.
So where you gonna be streaming the conclusion to your Kickstarter?
I'll I'll just be doing that on Instagram live. I'll be live
Oh,
streaming
okay.
on my yeah.
All
And
right. I put your not only the Kickstarter link below in the video description box, but your Instagram is there for anybody that doesn't know it. You can go click on that and go, you know, watch the live stream.
awesome, yeah, that'd be great. And then this last goal was because they wanted me to ask I did a Kid Nebula Go version, like the Teen Titans Go version. So
Right.
people really liked that. So I wanted to add that if we hit that stretch goal.
So yeah, that's
So
a
yeah,
possibility. Who knows? You know, it could happen in the last couple hours.
yeah. And this is just some promo art that I did, and then yeah, there I am.
Yep.
And
You're the creator, writer, artist, letterer. Nice. And so many other
yeah,
people
but
involved.
yeah, there's a lot of people involved. Just with the contributions like the covers, the promo art, some the prints that we're giving away, the stickers, and it's just been even though like I've listed doing like the book, but it's I just felt like it's been a team effort, which is great.
Right. Yeah. All right. So that's all that. Yeah, I guess we'll go down the pledge levels. You always get a pledge without a reward is $10, or any amount I guess you put in there, or well this. Oh, okay, I'm looking at whatever.
It's
I'm
like kind of repetitive.
looking
I
at the
don't know
wrong
why
thing.
that bubbled up, but
Pledge
yeah,
$5 a month. Yeah, digital edition.
yep.
You can speak on it. You know more about
Okay, yeah.
it.
So I try to keep it pretty since it was my first campaign. I try not to have it too crazy. So really, you can start from $5 on. So $5 will get you the digital edition, and
Right.
also you'll get the. I'm gonna have like a kind of a thank you page, and so your name will be included in that, like everyone will that pledged, and
Right. Right.
then the standard edition, which we have two different covers to choose from, would be $10 for the physical edition, the prints, the standard. So you could either get mine or Red Hornet Studios, one
Right.
of the bad guys, the robot renegades. And then we also have like the trading post. One is just also it can be an add-on, and that's just the trading cards, the 4 trading cards.
Cool.
And yeah, and then oh yeah, so then the $15 you have the two choice of the two deluxe edition ones, the covers by Jerry Cooley and Dennis Valencia. Those are really cool. Like the one Dennis's was the kind of the Space Samurai one, the Monkey Samurai, and then Jerry's was of the whole team of the Borealis Brigade. And
Right.
yeah, so those are the two. And then
Yeah.
the
There we go.
last one was yeah, and then the final deluxe one was just the wraparound cover by Derek Fleece of just a whole bunch of
Right.
stuff going
Which
on
is
with
that
that. You
one?
got the whole team battling the the robot renegades, so that one's a lot of fun. That one just looks amazing as
Yeah.
well. There's a lot to choose from. I try to make it
Yeah.
different
So
price
that's that.
points. Yeah, and then then there's like the full coverage, which if you can't decide, you get a little price break on it, and you can get all the covers if you want for 65.
Right.
The one that surprisingly went like within the first few hours of me going live starting this was the Borealis Brigade bundle, which was basically you get a copy of the comic and then you also get a character of yours in the comic.
Ah,
So
that's awesome.
yeah, yeah, I still get in my DMs or emails like, oh, is there any way you can add me in? But I did stretch it out a by one more, because I just didn't expect it. But I wanted to limit it enough to make it manageable, and I wanted to also be able to showcase each character that they send me, that so I can have them do something cool.
Right.
So yeah,
That's
I
awesome
definitely
that it
learned.
sold out.
Yeah, that was fast. So I definitely know, next time, that is one I'll have to include as well again for the next issue.
Very cool. All right, yeah. I mean that covers the whole gambit. All the pledge levels, all the art you had posted on the campaign,
Hmm.
and when it's coming to an end. It says 3 hours now. It's coming up.
Yeah, it's happening
um,
fast.
and 57 backers now.
Oh wow,
So
thank you. Thanks.
yeah, yeah, awesome. Um, so anything else you want to cover, and I'll close this out if we're completely.
Oh, I mean
Let's
that's
see. You want to? You know what? I'm not sure if I positively can do this. I'm going to try to share the video, but I have to close out and come back. I think because I gotta
okay.
do the volume thing. So let me
Oh,
try
okay.
this. Stop. Okay. It's a whole kerfuffle. Um, no, I don't want to invite guests. We got all the guests we need. Share. Okay. Share videos. Okay, share screen. Uh, yeah. One day I'll mess. Oh, I closed out the campaign. All right, never mind. Sorry, my bad. Well,
No, it's
you
okay.
can click on the link and go to the video. If I open it now, it's going to take, it's going to shut down my
Yeah.
stream. So anyway, we're good. We're good. You
Yeah.
can tell people about the video, like what happens in the video.
So it basically kind of gives a quick teaser of what's happening. So you've got Kid Nebula on one side with his team called the Borealis Brigade, and that team used to be um, pretty big, influential team that would help out, basically like Galaxy Defenders, help out with anything, any disputes, or just to help protect the galaxy, the people in the galaxy. And then what ended up happening over time was that um, because these members are from basically volunteers from all different planets, different races, different everything. And so what ended up happening over time was that these members of the team started getting called back to their home planets to help deal with issues that are going on on their home worlds. So really now there's really only a handful of what you see in the initial cover of like the Borealis Brigade, and so Kid Nebula was trying to still carry on the mission of doing that, but things kind of get ratcheted up when, as you saw in the one cover, the robot renegades come back into the
Right.
picture, and that's a large group that really want to take over again. They're kind of a little salty over what happened the last meeting they had with the brigade. So now it's just kind of like, once he sees they're there, then he has to try to get the band back together and try to see if he can get the rest of the brigade to come and take on this threat to the galaxy again.
Right.
And then just to make it, you know, the old saying, the enemy of my enemy is a kaiju. Well, that's what this is in this in this galaxy. That's there, and that's what ends up happening. So when, just to mess things up even more, uh, some kaiju kind of show up and start rampaging. So gets a little dicey, and that's why you can see that this is going to be a multi-issue arc. I can't. It'd be kind of crazy to try to finish it all in one issue, at least for me, since there's a lot going on. But that's kind of where it's at, and as you can see with the artwork, it's kind of definitely in the spirit of all the things that inspired me growing up. You know, the Saturday morning cartoons of, geez, so long ago now, in the 80s and 90s. You
Right.
know, that's what, really obscure ones to really well known ones still today, like Transformers, Voltron, but then, like uh, Silverhawks
Right.
and G-Force even,
Yep.
that. And
Love G Force.
yeah, I do too. My brother, my older brother got me into that, and then he also was a big fan of Ultraman, so I got into that.
Right.
Um, and a bunch of others. That's where I guess all the kaiju come into play. But but yeah, so it's kind of all that, like all the in the spirit of that I was thinking about this for a while, and then I just during this kind of pandemic that we've been in, I just started having time to think about, and it was one of the things I started thinking about, like my kids won't really get to experience like how I did, or people of my age, of the Saturday morning cartoons, like how it was almost kind of an event. Now, there's so much content at any time. Um,
Yeah, it's not anywhere near the same kind of thing because you could turn on anything at any time.
right,
Um, it, you know, back when we were kids and we were watching Saturday morning cartoons or anything that was on at any time, really, like it was always an event that you knew, like, oh, all your friends are checking out the same show the same exact time you are, you know.
right.
You see the same show, you see the same commercials, you see, it's the whole thing. Uh,
Yeah, and it felt
that's
terrible when you somehow couldn't watch it. Then you totally
right.
felt out of the loop.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
like there was no, oh, I'll watch it tomorrow morning. I can't catch it tonight or whatever. But
right.
so we get some people in the chat. We got Dee Dee. Just want to catch up on some messages they made. She said, "You're welcome, Peter." We got Art Monkey. Cool, sheltering. I'm not sure what that's a reference to, but thanks for coming by. And Dee Dee said, "Okay, stepping away to play."
Oh,
Uh,
thank you.
that's awesome. Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Dee Dee.
much.
Again, backed it and tweeted. Awesome, awesome. Yeah,
Wow.
as many eyes we can get on any project, that's so important to independent
Yeah.
creators and their projects, for sure. So you don't have it nailed down exactly, but you are planning, like, I guess maybe a mini series of books.
hmm So there's going to be like, yeah, at least a miniseries, at least to finish the story arc. So it could be 3 to 5 issues. Right now I'm looking at three, but I could see where it might stretch out a little more. And then,
Right.
so next year I've already started kind of working on some ideas I have for the second one because I had to figure out a good stopping point for the first issue. So I already kind of had some stuff going on for the second.
Right.
Um, but then after that, definitely I've got some requests for like wanting to know more about some of the side characters, like the Simian space samurai, and then the blue guy, which is the kaiju commando, and then Red. He's kind of like he was inspired by Ultraman, and then some of the other characters as well. So I have a lot of stories to tell in this universe, so that's what I'm kind of thinking about doing, and even some crossovers with other creators. I've been talking to some. I think that'd be cool to do some crossovers to kind of spotlight some of their characters as well
Yeah.
and their projects.
Very, very cool. Well, I mean, since like this is my first time meeting you, I imagine comics aren't a full time gig, but I could be wrong. Like, what do you do for earn a living?
Yeah, so it's definitely not this yet. So this is definitely a passion project which I'd like to spend more and more time on as we go forward. But like my day job right now is I work in the tech industry.
Okay, cool.
Um, yeah, so for a small it's actually kind of cool. Some of my buddies started a their own tech company, software
Nice.
company, and I've been with them for I think 6, 7 years now, and it's been pretty cool. So it's not like as dry as like just sitting down, programming where you see the screen of like the Matrix with all the
Right.
green text. But so I do some creative stuff with there, like some visual stuff. Some of our clients, we basically help tie their software into ours to present things kind of in a cool way, like on their website or their showroom floor. So like we deal with some the auto industry, some of the car manufacturers. So
Right.
you'll see our software like it's kind of cool. We for this we do 2D, which we'd be doing on the just so people can go to their website, and then we also do 3D. So we use the Unreal engine, gaming engine,
Ah.
to plug that into and yeah, it looks awesome using especially with cars and things like that. You can spin it around, go in there, and everything looks so crisp.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
will
it's
will
fun.
will any of that experience and like bleed into your book perhaps?
I'm sure it will.
Do you have bigger dreams than just doing a comic? Like maybe like I know a lot of people like want to do an animation, like even if it's just like a short movie or episode, or some people want to get into like making their character or their books into video games. Like I know I'd love to do both. You know.
Yeah, I'm kind of all the above too. Definitely
Yeah.
games would be cool, and animation would be awesome. 'Cause it kind of since again, since my big influences were from the Saturday morning cartoons, and animation would just fit right in because it's like playing in my head all the time when I'm doing this, working on this comic.
Yeah. That's awesome. If you heard a cat meowing, that's one of my cats wants to go out, but you'll have to
Okay.
wait until the show's over, cat. um, so when like let's go way back. Like, were you always like into reading comics and like is that how you got into drawing yourself and writing, or how did you first start out?
Yeah, so initially it was the cartoons and that kind of got me into drawing, inspired me even back to like Looney Tunes, like seeing reruns of that. But like all the Saturday morning cartoons, that got me into drawing. Um, and then um, and then even like my grandparents always they brought out the old, which people probably don't even know now, like brought this the the comics, in the newspaper, and they'd always want me to draw those for them and stuff.
Right.
But the the thing that really opened my eyes about comics was Secret Wars. Once
Ah,
I saw
yes.
that, my just like it's like head exploded almost. I was like, wow, and I was just amazed by it. And then since then, I was just Marvel, DC. It didn't really when I was a kid, I didn't really have to like say I'm Marvel or DC. It's just I just gravitated towards all the cool stuff. So I liked Batman, and I loved a lot of Marvel stuff because I liked Secret Wars. But I was I still like things from both. So that's what really got me into it. I think Secret Wars to really get into reading comics regularly.
Yeah. So Secret Wars, anybody that doesn't know, was a Marvel Comics event where they put a lot of their characters into sort of an event series. And I know maybe all of them were penciled by Ron Lim was the artist. Um, the fastest artist at the time. He was like doing everything. Um, but those were really cool. Like that's where Spider-Man got his black costume initially. That became Venom. Lots of
Hmm.
things went down that some stayed with the sort of what was happening in the comics. Some things that dropped off, as other creators took over books and whatnot. But yeah, I like those events. The problem with like Marvel and DC is that they try to do one every year, and it becomes like,
Right.
uh, you're destroying the regular series. You keep coming with
Yeah.
all these new events over and over and over. Um, but definitely, yeah, that it's like those were pretty cool, and I remember picking those up and at least initially liking them.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There's kind of that fatigue, like, because every year they're trying to do these big events. But that one, I guess, just got me in. It was like my gateway into the
Right.
comics, and you can even see like with I have because I like that with a lot of different characters. That's kind of where I thought it'd be cool, and that's with I have the Borealis Brigade with a bunch of characters, and that's why I'll throughout I'll be kind of spotlighting different ones. But that's kind of my inspiration for that.
So what writers inspired you?
Oh man, um, so that's kind of tricky. Well, now I've right now I've been I always read at least I read most of like Rick Remender stuff.
Okay.
Uh, um, and I really liked. I'm trying to think of some of the other writers because there's a ton of them that I. Oh, gosh, I'm kind of blanking right now. Sorry.
No,
It's
no
just kind of
worries.
like trying to drink from a fire hose, and I'm trying to grab the names. But I mean, I definitely liked. I guess I could just say in this way. For example, I really like Hellboy's always been one of my favorites.
Right.
Um, and definitely liked. Um, there are a couple really good runs I thought in Daredevil that I liked a lot with the writing.
Yeah.
Um, and that, I mean, they had some really good ones. I thought, like, and then I think that was also yeah during the Frank Miller stuff then too. Um, but
Yeah.
then also I think Tony Daniels had some good ones there too that I liked from Daredevil. Um,
Did he do that wrong? Yeah, that must have been like I read like the whole Frank Miller run, and then
mhm.
I guess he was writing, and Klaus Janson was doing art. Then later, and Nesenti with John Romita Jr. It was a whole years and years worth of great
Yeah,
things. And I know Tony did Batman,
yeah,
but it's like this. It's like I've been in and out of the comics, reading comics, um, and definitely haven't read that much since the '90s. So there's also that.
yeah. I mean, for me, I think the early 2000s I was getting back into it because I took a break from it, and then I took another break. Now I'm kind of mainly I still will check things out that look interesting, but I'm really kind of getting finding out all this cool stuff from the indie community, which is awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
the
so
the independent community has grown so much, with technology and computers and all these art programs and tablets and things available to artists to make making comics easier and even like of a much higher level than heck when I picked up independent comics in the 70s. Like there was almost like handwritten credits pages, and it's like really sloppy and not professional.
yeah,
um but it's always cool to like get different creators uh sort of their what stories they like doing and characters they like doing, and just seeing different ways that people put them together, as well as, like, since everybody's um, crowdfunding now, it's you definitely pick up what you should do or what you shouldn't do by following other people's campaigns and whatnot. Like
Right.
you said, in a minute, Rocket. um, what like did you go around to other creators to ask, like, how do I put together a campaign, or did you just sort of try to hack it out yourself, or like?
Well, at the beginning, I was kind of just, kind of looking at dissecting other campaigns, but then I did approach several. I mean, there's a lot on that list that I have on my page.
Right.
I felt like I was bugging them, but we ended up becoming really close, and they all were, really approachable and gave me good advice and suggestions, what worked, what
Right.
didn't work for them. So that's been great. I was always worried that I didn't know, since when I came in, I didn't know like the the protocols or the lay of the land. So I didn't know if I could just start. I didn't want to be like just bugging people, but it turned out
Right.
really well. Everyone's been really great, and that's kind of how I started figuring things out. And they all kind of said the same thing to me, like, try, since it's my first one, don't go too crazy with all the tiers and things like that,
Right.
to not get overwhelmed. And then so I tried to keep it simple there, which I think helped a lot. And then I knew kind of from there's like some cool stretch goals, and then how to approach different types of tiers, and just even how to try to get the word out. I'm still learning on that.
Yeah.
But that's, I think that's always going to be an ongoing process.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's part of becoming. It's one thing to put out your own book, but you sort of, if you do something like this and you do it more than once, then you essentially becoming a small business, and you have to,
Hmm.
be aware of all aspects of business. Um, I'm curious about something, because like, you're in the U.S., right?
Hmm.
Um,
Yes.
and on the page, I did notice that you're going to be shipping to everywhere around the world. Um,
Hmm.
do you have, like, did you price, like, what it would cost to go to England or Australia, like different places?
So I,
Or are you charging the same thing, and you can, take it out of your own pocket for shipping?
so I definitely increased the shipping around the world. I did some looking into it, but it seems to be fluctuating quite a bit.
Right.
So I did, which I thought, man, that's gonna who's gonna want to get it? I increased the shipping, I think, to like, I don't know, like $20 or something for some places,
Right.
um, outside of the U.S. that I looked into. That's it. I try to find one number that would be plus or minus from there, but manageable, where I could cover the difference if it wasn't enough, or be enough for other places. But so far in mine, majority are U.S. I have some for the UK, some Canada. Those are the two major ones, and then the other area, then other ones that were international, they just told me that they're going to get just do digital to make it
Right.
easier for, I guess, all involved.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, Totally. It's like, I found the solution, that there's actually, like, sort of fulfillment centers and printers in England and whatnot. Quiet, you.
Mm.
um my God. But, like, that if I was thinking with my campaign, like, if I have a ton of people out in the UK and England and whatever surrounding areas, that want my book, then I'll really consider printing it over there. or something like
Hmm.
that. But it's
Yeah.
like I got some orders from here and there. It's like I'll just mail it all from here. Not too much of a big deal, and I'll eat some extra cost here or there or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
as
That's kind of
it
what it is.
was like okay, so I've been like a lot of life has happened since I did my campaign, and some funding I thought I had coming to me fell through. So actually, I haven't
Mm.
filled mine yet. Um, and I'm just finishing the inks on it. Like my full time job is working on comics. Like I'm mostly known as an inker. Um,
Mm.
so I'm not going to fulfill until next year. Um, and yeah, you don't want to be that late with people, but don't do as I do. Do as I say. So so you know I did look into like what it would cost, and could I have other people like print it in England, and then have somebody there ship it around if I did have a lot of
Mm.
people, and that stuff does exist, and there's more and more people willing to do it for you. If you find, like I know some people are using other creators to fulfill in different areas, because everybody,
Oh, that's cool.
there's creators around the world. So if you just connect and network, and like you could possibly find like, oh, I know somebody in Canada, so if I ship out a whole book, box of books to my friend in Canada, then he'll ship it from his place, and so on and so forth. But it's also a matter of trust, and it could get
Yeah.
really complicated. But I just wanted to see where you stood on that. Something okay, so something happened in concerning streaming chats for the first time yesterday. I had some spam bots show up in my chat, and
Mm.
here is a comment. I'm pretty sure it's not an actual person, and it's a spam bot. So I'm going to block this person unless you know this person. Um,
And
where is now? I can't see. Oh, okay. Here we go. Um, yeah, I'm going to block that person because yeah, that's a new thing to me. That I'm getting spam in the chat. I've gotten spam comments on my videos. So
hmm.
if you're a YouTuber and a streamer, just want to put it out there, let people know that this is happening. This is a thing. Here's my friend Lennon. Hey Peter, tried that Pelican Ink. That's what I like using. My preference in ink as far as inking. It has really good flow, but the problem is it's not quite dark enough. I find I almost have to ink it twice. That is true. It used to be dark enough, but brands change. Like you can get paper from the same batch, and it could be different quality. Like if you order paper or order pads, so paper can change in a batch. Lately, I find Pelican ink not as dark, but still just as good. Landon goes on to say, I got something called Heart of Darkness Neuters ink. We'll let you know how it works out. It's supposed to be super dark and flow well because it's fountain pen ink. Um, I'm really picky with my ink. I like a matte finish as opposed to a glossy finish.
Mm.
So if it's glossy, I won't use it. And glossy tends to have an added thickness on the page. Like I don't feel this if I put it down on brush. Um, and like I don't feel it at all. If I did go in with quill, obviously it's sticking in the page, and I feel it on the surface. I don't know if you deal with any of this traditional stuff at all, or if you're totally digital. D.
Right now, I'm in, like, for my comic, it's all digital.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured as much. Do you
But
want to? I,
oh,
I
go
was
ahead.
gonna.
Sorry.
I was gonna say, do you want to get into like your process if people might find that interesting?
Oh, sure. Yeah. And, um, so like I said, basically almost, well, with this comic, I'm almost 100% digital. I mean, I might do some sketching or penciling and then bring it in. But I do most of my work, if not all, on my iPad, and I'm using, for the most part, I'm using Procreate.
Right. Yeah, a lot more
And
people I see that do digital are using Procreate. It seems like a fully functioning program that has everything in it, like for comic
yeah, I
makers.
mean, especially with their, so one of the big complaints before was the dialogue and things like that, like text. But now that's
Right.
all been with the latest updates. You can import Photoshop, any of the different fonts from different places. So that's great. And yeah, so I think I mean, there's definitely always room for improvement, but I think it's been pretty good so far.
Sweet.
And I love just working on my iPad so I can go anywhere and work on it for a while. It's pretty nice. So I don't feel tethered to, as long as I guess unless I'm doing something, I have to be online if I'm grabbing files that I have like in the cloud, but mainly I have everything on my iPad, so I can just go wherever.
So I assume like you have your day job. Do you do it like evenings, weekends? Do you
Yeah.
maybe travel by train or to work, or like and work on the train? I don't know. Like different people do different things.
Oh, well, yeah. So the good thing is since so I used to live in Northern California, and then I moved about se- 7 years ago. I moved down to LA area, and then from then just basically been I guess what they call it, working remotely. So I basically it's like the home office the whole
Oh,
time, and then except for some travel, like well, pre COVID, I used to have to travel, client site sometimes, depending, or go to Europe for some meetings or conferences or something like that. But the last 2 years, I haven't had to do any travel really, so it looks like it's going to stay like that, even from the side of the client. They're usually like, "Oh, we can just do it online or do like a call." So
yeah.
that's kind of what I'm doing.
It's a lot more people working at home, and it's like hasn't changed my life at all. It's like I'm pretty much
Yeah,
I work from home anyway, and it's like I'm probably spending a little more time at home, which makes you a little cagey, but you
yeah,
work with it.
yeah. So I mean, I basically then juggle like the weekends, or I've been trying to do actually some like getting up earlier and doing it, but so far I've been more of a night owl. I'm working at night more on my comic. But
Yeah, uh,
so I
I
don't know.
used I used to be a night owl, but lately it's more midday than anything. It's like because I meet with a couple of people in my afternoon. My day starts around 10, which is later than I used to start my days. But I go later, so not no longer a night owl. But that's a good thing. It's like I'm much older than when I started, and been doing this 30 years. So it's like
Yeah,
I can barely do a night, like work through the night like I used to. But if I have to, if I need to do something, deadlines, I'll make it happen somehow.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm definitely trying to not do the late nights as much anymore because I definitely feel it now. It's not like before where I could just pull all nighters and stuff like that. Now I definitely feel the pain.
Yeah, yeah, it's that's what happens. It's like even though I don't sleep as good, it's like I still need to like start resting at a certain point. Uh,
Yeah, exactly.
but what was I gonna say? How do you feel about your writing on the book? Like, is that coming easy? Is it the
Um,
most difficult challenge of the book, or?
so I guess I always joke about it, but it's kind of true. Like, this depends on what day you ask me this question. But, um, so definitely I like so what I found really challenging is the kind of the uh, writing and with going, trying to work together and not be like repetitive of like I'm just saying what the picture is saying, like kind
Right.
of, and so kind of working all that when I see it all visually, like the layout of the pages and how the story flows through that. So I kind of had to think that way as well of like how do I break this up and everything like that. So I always had like the general idea and the plot points of the story for the most part is just writing it to in a way that I guess kept it engaging and also makes sense and it's in the most efficient way. That part has been challenging for
Right.
sure, because it's kind of like for me, kind of felt like even though I've read like a ton of comics through my life, it's just kind of this crash course of like writing a story in this medium, and then also, you know, drawing it, and then how the story flows from page to page, from panel to panel. That has been really challenging, just trying to make sure that that works well. So,
Yeah. Do you think maybe like, oh, this is a lot of work. Maybe I'll just stick to the art and let somebody else write it for a future project, or?
there was definitely a few months ago, I was feeling that way. I was like, maybe I should just provide this artwork and kind of the vibe of it, and then just kind of, and then team up with someone, which I'm still open to. I mean, but yeah,
Well,
it's
I'll definitely say like it's good to have your own property, because then like you're the one making money off of it 10 years, 20 years down the line. It's like at least
yeah,
have one thing that's all your own.
yeah.
Here's my friend Kensuke. He says, "Have you tried Clip Studio for the iPad? That's another
Oh,
option for digital peoples."
yes. So I did try it, and I do like it. I mean, it's basically that was all specifically made for making comics. It looks like it's great. And that the one thing that kind of maybe after this, when I get this out and everything, then maybe moving forward, I might look at it more in depth. But it seemed like for me the learning curve was a little steeper for me just to dive in since I was already far into this issue in Procreate. But the one downside for me was that they moved it to subscription based for the iPad. If I was just strictly doing the iPad and not connecting up to my PC or whatever, so that was one thing that I wasn't initially a huge fan of starting off.
Really?
You know,
That's
yeah,
that for the uh that's Clip Paint Studio you're talking about.
yeah. So Clip Studio, at least when
Yeah.
I looked at it seriously months ago, it was all subscription based now for iPad. If you load it in there.
I mean, like I got it, but I got a PC, so for
Yeah.
me, I bought it years ago, and it's not a subscription. It's just I got it permanently, and even they even offer upgrades. Um, I
Hmm.
think upgrades is like cheap, just to, and they have discounts and everything, but I haven't heard like they're subscription based on the iPad, but I don't have an iPad, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what I found out 'cause when I installed it and then it said here's your trial thing, and then after that it's going to be either an annual fee or a monthly fee. Um,
Yeah,
but
I hate
so
that subscription base for anything. So
yeah, especially, I mean, maybe if I was already working on that and I was familiar with it, and I would probably do it. But right now, since I'm still kind of learning it, I didn't do it. And it's hard though because Procreate, it's just basically a flat fee. It's like 9.99 or something, and then you get all
yeah,
the updates. But maybe down the road I might, because it definitely sees like Clip Studio, it does look like it has some advantages, or makes things a little easier for certain aspects of it.
yeah. For those that don't know, it used to be called Manga Studio. Now it's
Yeah.
Clips Clip Paint Studio. Studio. I forget the combination name, but but I know Kensuke has used it on his book, The Foreigner. Um, but yeah, it's like I plan to color my own book, and I'll be using Clip Studio Paint or whatever the name is to color my own book. But I'm strictly doing like old style '80s comic book coloring, so it won't be too difficult
Cool.
no matter what I use, really. Yeah, yeah. I'm excited to get into coloring. It's like, you know, technically, I've been in this industry 30 years now, and um, mostly as an inker. And now I'm dabbling into everything. I mean, I've done a little bit of everything along the way, but not for myself. So this would be my first book, and me really jumping into everything like yourself. And it's like, um, you get more of a vision, a complete vision when it's a single creator, or it's like I'm hiring a few people, but it will be mostly my vision of what I want to
Hmm.
do, and I don't know. Hey, it's Ryan Wynn, the Ink
Oh, wow.
King.
The Ink King. That's so
So stoked
cool.
to catch this.
Awesome.
uh,
Oh, thanks,
D
man.
is the
I always,
man.
yeah, I really appreciate being on. Yeah, thanks, Ryan. I always catch all of his streams when I can.
Yeah, Ryan's awesome. He is a great channel as well, and I have to put. You know, it's like I wind up telling a lot of people this, but his book is on my list of creators' books I want to pick up, but I just don't have the finances right now. So I got a list of 30, maybe 40 books. Swear to God, it's like I want all these. Um, but yeah, so if anybody in the chat has questions, we'll be ending this soon. Please drop them right now while you have a chance. But if there's anything we haven't covered, D, that you might want to mention, bring up anywhere you're online, if you got events above and beyond the fact that you're doing an end stream, what time does that start tonight for those that might have caught this?
That
Uh,
starts at 5 Pacific, 8 Eastern, and
okay.
that's, yeah, because I think I had to double check, but like
Yeah.
on Kickstarter, I think it says it ends at 5:25 Pacific time. So we're just gonna have that, kind of catch the tail end of it, and just to kind of thank everyone, kind of
That's awesome.
celebrate that survived the month.
Nice, nice. Yeah, any socials that you're on, like I definitely got your Kickstarter link. I definitely have your Instagram.
I
And
am
I
on
think that's
Twitter,
that's I put it. Okay. Are you
but
D Hausner on Twitter?
that
Elsewhere?
one actually it's different. So on Twitter, it's Doogie Hausner, and
Oh,
then
okay.
that's about it. I mean, I'm on Facebook, but that's Dee Hausner. That's just linked
Right.
like with Instagram. And I think that's about it.
We got another
Oh,
pledge.
thanks, man. Oh
Awesome.
man. I had to convince next year I'm gonna start bugging you, Ryan, about coming up with a good theme song. I love his Hammerella theme song he came up with for his
Yeah,
comic.
man. Yeah,
It always gets me fired up when I hear it.
he's got the music going on. He's got the animation skills. Man, he's a
Yeah,
tour de force, that
he's
guy.
the man. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I mean, we've got an hour. I hope people got a good glimpse of your project, and there's limited time now to catch the Kickstarter while it's still alive. Um, I guess I'll ask the question that maybe you have been asked already, but any plans to do Indiegogo as a follow up?
Yes, actually, I've been getting asked that quite a bit.
Okay.
um,
Okay.
um, oh, Neff, what's up, man?
Neff,
I'm
good to see
Yeah, I
Neff.
was on his show. Yeah,
Yeah.
he actually kind of was one of the ones that's recommended as well. That so I'm looking into doing that after this campaign to
Cool.
Indiegogo. Yeah,
Yeah, because you could either do another campaign there, or if you're already exhausted of campaigning, you can just do in demand. Just set it up and put it in demand, and just have people go there if they want a copy of it. That kind of
yeah,
jazzio.
that's pretty cool. Yeah.
And it's like I noticed like there's specific people that only pledge on Kickstarter and specific that only pledge on Indiegogo. There's that sort of thing. But it's also like, why not hit all the stores and sell your shoes in every store?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
So, oh man, well, it's been great talking to you, and I'm glad you got a couple of more pledges since you've been here. That's always awesome
Yeah,
to
that's
see.
awesome. Yeah.
And yeah, I hope you get a couple more before the campaign ends. I know it's a limited time, but
Yeah.
and anytime you want to come back, and when you get the next issue done, or you just want to come and chat about comics and art and all that jazz, you're perfectly welcome, man. Been a great guest, and you got a cool
Oh, thanks so
project.
much for having me.
Oh, my pleasure, man. So yeah, if you haven't already liked this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already subscribed. Always trying to grow. I passed 1,000, but man, I'm shooting for 20,000.
There you go.
So, and I don't have super chat now. I'm far from 4,000 watched hours at the moment. Um, but yeah, you can watch all my videos. Just turn me on silent and let it play all day, whatever. Um,
Oh, that's what I was
but
wondering about the cutoff for the super chat. So it's 4,000 hours? Is that?
yeah, you gotta have uh 4,000 watch hours, and you gotta have over 1,000 subscribers. Um, and it could be for a couple of minutes. As long as you hit it, you're good, and then you can apply for the YouTube partnership. And if you get approved, then you're good. I think if you're once you're approved and you're in the partnership, if you're inactive for 6 months, then they'll take it away from you. But as long as you throw a video up every 6 months, you're good. It's
Awesome.
crazy. It's it's crazy. I used to be part of the partnership until they changed the rules, so now I'm trying to get back on it. Um,
Hmm.
and I know some other creators have had challenges getting their partnership. I think Ryan might be one, getting super chats and all that. But hopefully, I won't have a problem once I get there. Should be early next year, maybe summer next year. By the time I get those numbers, but I'll get there eventually. We'll get those super chats going. We'll get whatever other perks I forget they have going on. But yeah, thank you everybody for checking this out, checking the show out, checking Dee's project out.
Yeah, thank you.
And once again, I'll let people know I am putting myself on a 3-day weekend because I got a lot of work to accomplish. So I will be back Monday. And so see everybody then. Have a great, productive evening.